Hey, what's happening, gamers? It's K-Wing here, and this is my house, or condo, or whatever. Anyway, since most of the house is still in, well, boxes, I thought I would show you my office, where the magic happens, where all the videos are made, and my setup, and some of my game collection. So let's head on in there, and we'll check it out. Okay, so we're walking through the hallway here. And this is the door to my office. As you can see, it's decorated with the awesome Gundam Wing poster. Oh yeah, little anime love for you. This show was really popular right when I was heading into college, and it made a lasting impression on me. My favorite character is a tie between Hiro Yui and Duo Maxwell. But anyway, let's head inside. And this is, as Amber calls it, Studio One, or I don't know. This is my office, my first ever real office. Before I just kind of had like little closets, or I was tucked away in a corner. You can see my drum set over there. I haven't even really had time to set it up at all. And Chris Holden and I are working on Golden Axe and Sonic and some other stuff, and I haven't really been able to do any of that, and I'm really sorry, Chris. I plan on getting on that, I promise. And over here we have, I'm editing a video that is Injustice, the quarterfinals, I believe. Here is my, I forget what these are, I guess they're called Fatheads or something like that. And even though I crack on the new 52, that poster in the corner is just awesome. Like Batman right there, and it's got Green Arrow, Hawkman, I think that's Black Canary, Cyborg, Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman. I think that's Metamorpho up there. Don't know who that is. Might be the Atom. And no idea who that is. Yeah. So, then of course we have the TMNT. That was a really awesome movie. A lot of people give it some slack, but I really enjoyed that movie. And what's really cool is when people shut off my light, my wife got this for me. For Christmas, this is what you see whenever you turn off the lights. I also have a Walt Disney one somewhere, but yeah. Since I don't have a lot of my games unpacked, and I don't have a, I guess you would say a plushie shelf yet, this is my Wii tower that used to hold my favorite Wii games, and now it just has these characters. Right there's my Bible and my special traveling Triforce case for my favorite video game soundtracks. In there is Castlevania, and we have The Legend of Zelda. I have Smashing Live, and I have The Last Story, Xenoblade Chronicles in there, and some other stuff. And over here is my subwoofer. Not that that's really important, but we can see Captain America, the bobblehead, sitting there, hanging out. And this is also a birthday present. This is my newest media rack, and it houses my Wii U and my blank Wii that I just keep in here because I transferred all my data over to the Wii U, which you saw. And I keep the blank one in here so I can play all my GameCube games, which the controllers are right there. See how it sits all nicely right there? I love that. It's such a cool feature. We have Optimus Prime hanging out, just doing his thing. And, of course, Nightwing. Gotta have Nightwing. The TVs that I use are Samsung, just like downstairs. I used to be a salesman, and Sony products were never very reliable, so I got really good with Samsung when I was a salesman and made a lot of commissions selling their stuff, and they actually make a really good product, so I still recommend them as long as they don't go the route of Sony. And there we have the original Megazord just hanging out. And if you're wondering the game that we're working on that's on the LCD right here, it is none other than Skylanders Giants. So yeah, everybody's like, what's going on with Skylanders? It's like, oh, we're still, unpacking and stuff, but there it is. You can see we're playing it. Amber prefers to use the game remote thing with the nunchuck, whereas I like to play with the Wii U Pro Controller, just because I'm tired of waggle games. This is our collection of Skylanders. As you can see, it's grown, and with the new Switch Force coming out, we're not too thrilled with that because that means we're probably going to end up being suckered into buying more Skylanders, and we already have probably 40. And right here are the Skylanders that we've been mostly using. You can see there's some new ones, but for the most part, you're going to see my favorite characters. which are Chop Chop, who we renamed Eternal Darkness, and my Sylvanius Hunter from Warcraft, and some other goodies. And of course, Bam Bam. And no, your eyes do not deceive you. That is Chuck Norris' autobiography. Unfortunately, I don't have it signed, which totally sucks, but that's my devotional right there. I read one every day. And my tissue box, because I have a cold. Now, over here, what's interesting, I don't have a way to display my GameCube games. When Amber and I got married, we went to a Bible college, like, right away to get our faith grounded and things like that. And they had no room. It was basically like a one-bedroom apartment, and there was no room to store any stuff. So all our GameCube games ended up being put into these binders, or very small binders. So if you guys and gals know of any way to get the original GameCube boxes, please let me know, because I have another shelf I plan on building. I would really like to display all 250 of my GameCube games rather than being in books like this. And what's actually different than me compared to a lot of other collectors is I don't arrange games by alphabetical order. I do games by when they released. That way, when you are showing games or reviewing or whatever, you can show people the difference in the progression and how games were from when it released to when it left. And here's some more posters that I wasn't able to show. You know I'm a Transformers buff, so I gotta have some G1 love over there. Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man wasn't bad, but the poster was cool. And as much as I dislike some aspects of Assassin's Creed, I do enjoy it, and I've got an Assassin's Creed 3 poster. It looks pretty cool. Now, if you notice about my posters, which Amber says is a little odd of me, but I like to do them kind of like in a staircase pattern. I don't really like having them next to each other. I like the kind of artistic feel of how everything goes around the room like that. And you can see it's getting nighttime where I am now. So I'm going to be getting back to work soon, but I'm going to show you another neat little thing. I no longer have my Batman figures displayed up there because I'm having a shelf made, and I may put them in my soundproof room that I'm making in my walk-in closet, which I'm not going to show you because it's a work in progress and it's hideous. And no, the soundproof room is not for what people are thinking. It's so I can do radio commercials and other things and get more jobs doing voiceovers. So that's what that is. But I do have my anime collection, some of it displayed, some of my favorite shows I watch with Amber from time to time. Apologize for the shakiness, but Sergeant Frog, yes, Voltron, School Rumble, and some other goodness. And of course we have the original Megazord, topping things off right there, along with Optimus Prime. And yes, let it be known, while I may not be a brony, I do enjoy Adventure Time. It's a fun, nostalgic show, and I enjoy it. It's funny. Although I still hate the animation with the utmost passion for living. But the storyline, the voice acting, everything else is awesome. And over here, we have the N64 finally working. But I have no way to video capture N64 games. I wanted to do a Let's Play of Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, which is still the only Castlevania game that is true to the Bram Stoker novel, which is amazing. Out of the 40 Castlevania games released since the 1980s, Castlevania Legacy of Darkness is the one closest to Bram Stoker's novel. It's amazing. It's actually 90% accurate, even to having vampires like clinging from the walls and smoke and all this other stuff, even the werewolf transformation. But you all know I love the Legacy of Darkness, so yeah, there you go. And this is my setup. There's my beautiful wife, which you'll actually see her in vlogs from time to time. Isn't she beautiful? Gorgeous. Love her. And we have right here another little tidbit I'm going to show you guys. This is my small DS collection. I have a much bigger one in my parents' basement that I haven't been able to get yet. But I plan on doing these games eventually because I have the means to video capture, which I'm going to show you guys in just a second. There's my cell phone. And Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats, protecting all my incoming calls. There's another little tidbit that helps me during the day. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how I video capture 3DS games. It is a 3DS capture card that a friend of mine from a friend actually made me. It was quite expensive though. I have an original beta unit, I believe, so it cost me about $550. Now I think you can get them much cheaper because he's refined his technology, but for a beta, it's awesome. I love it. I have no issues with it. The only problem is it takes a long time to transfer data and stuff like that through rendering and all that jazz. So yeah, but let me show you how the capture card works real quick, and then I'll show you my game collection. Well, the ones that I have unpacked anyway. Okay, so this is a capture unit. It's a USB device. It plugs right into my computer over here. And then the audio cable goes from the system into the back of my computer in the microphone port. And then what I'll do is when I'm Let's Playing or doing a review, I will write up the script or whatever, and the Let's Plays, my microphone will be adjacent in this area, usually right where the Fire Emblem book is. And Amber and I will sit right around this area and chat it up while I usually play. And if you're wondering why gameplay footage is hard or doesn't look that good, it's because it renders in perfectly, but as you can see on the screen, it kind of gets stretched out a little bit, which is a issue, kind of. But there's nothing that can really be done because it's not its native resolution. So I try to render it in HD as best I can so it'll look okay. But you can see, unlike most capture cards, everything is actually happening in real time, which is pretty cool. So if I want to use this to play games, I can. But unfortunately, I don't record them this way because then it looks all pixelated. What I have to do when I record them, and this is why stuff doesn't look as good, and people are like, oh, you suck at so-and-so DS games. It's like, I have horrible eyesight. I can't see nothing. And this is what I have to deal with when I'm recording. And they don't have a way to make a 3DS capture device for the 3DS XL yet. The parts haven't been made in Japan, so it's going to be some time before I do it. So this is what I have to deal with when I play. And my eyesight is not 20/40 corrected. It's like 20/60, 20/70. At least it was a couple years ago. I haven't been an eye doctor in 5 years. So it's probably a lot worse now. But I'm not legally blind, and they haven't taken me off the road yet. Plus, I'm a New York driver, so I know how to drive. But that's the 3DS capture unit. It's pretty cool. Legacy of Darkness. And over here we have the long-awaited video game collection. Everybody has been saying for years, why don't you show the collection? It's like, I can't display it. And I probably have the most Wii games that you'll ever see a owner ever have. Now, what's interesting about this collection, though, is I would say probably about 85% of those games are must-have Wii games. Even though some of those are like PS2 ports, they're still really awesome games. I don't really have a lot of crap in my collection aside from the launch titles. I have some pretty questionable launch titles, but you can see Godzilla right there. And just like with my GameCube games, all my games are in the date of release to everything. So you can see right there. There's the fabled My Sims. Because people thought I used ROMs. No such luck. Do not use ROMs for Wii or GameCube games. Or N64. You can see more games here. Some of the names. And then the most recent stuff is on the bottom right here. I'm horrible at filming. I apologize if you're getting nauseous. And some of these games I really haven't had a lot of time to do any videos on yet. And I don't know when I'll get to be honest, because I'm working a lot with the 3DS at the moment. You can see our Skylander portals and the Skylander stuff. NES controller, that's where more DS games from the basement are going to be. I have about 200 DS games. This is a remainder of my N64 collection. I have about 30 N64 games left, and they're all really good games that were must-buys, so my N64 collection is not much to brag about. And we have the PS3 collection, starting with the most recent game I have, which is LEGO Lord of the Rings, and yes, we're going to finish it. I didn't show you the rest of the house because it's in boxes. But this is the only GameCube games that I have boxes for, sadly, and PS2 games. All my PS2 and GameCube games are in those massive DVD binders that actually hold 100 games each. And it's pretty cool. And I still have all the, the pamphlets that came with the game, and the covers. So if I ever get DVD blank casket things, then I can display stuff again, which I'm hoping I can this year. And these are the PS3 games, because everybody's like, oh, you're just a Nintendo person. It's like, nope, I've had a PlayStation through PS3, and these are my PS3 games. And yes, I have the not Castlevania game, Lords of Shadow, and I only knock on the game because it removed a lot of elements from Castlevania, about 50%, and originally they weren't going to do that. They were developing two games at the time. One was Castlevania with Simon Belmont, which was going to be more a tribute to Super Castlevania, which became Mirror of Fate. And the other game was this really cool medieval kind of Dark Souls thing, which was a God of War clone, and it became Lords of Shadow after Konami said, okay, you were going to do this thing with Simon, but we're going to give you full reins and you can do whatever you want with the characters. That was a mistake for many Castlevania fans. So they went ahead and they did that. And the original story of their Castlevania game, Mirror of Fate, is now on the 3DS. And I will have my full review on that later. But the game is really awesome. I really like it. Not so much the combat engine, because it's definitely Lords of Shadow, but I like the fact that it has all the old school references, weapons, and characters, and enemies. Everything's pretty much a tribute to many of the past Castlevania games, but mostly the games that David Cox worked on, Symphony of the Night through the Game Boy Advance and DS games, and I think Lament of Innocence. But here are more of my PS3 games, and again, they're all by date. Let's start up here, go over here, see, all there. And that, I forgot about the remainder of my Super Nintendo games. I don't have many right now. Most of them are at my parents' still. I haven't gotten them, and I don't have the room to display them, so I'm not going to do it. But these are my favorite ones, minus Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana, which isn't here. But Mario's guarding those games. And this is the 3DS collection, which I almost forgot to show. And this is all the games that have come out that I considered good. And I have duplicates, so I could play with Amber sometimes, depending on the game. That one game right there, don't pay any attention to Madagascar 3. That was sent to me by D3 along with Rise of the Guardians. And they send me stuff to go over for a kid site that I used to work for. But I did enjoy getting Adventure Time. That was awesome. And there's the Shinobi game right over there. But most of the stuff in my collection is all good. And one of Amber's games is up here, that Art Academy, which is actually very relaxing, but it reminds me that I can't draw, and it makes me sad. But then again, whenever I go on the Wii U, it reminds me I can't draw to save my life. There's a new Fire Emblem game. And this isn't in order yet because I only arranged the Wii, PS3, and Wii U games in order. I just kind of threw my 3DS games up there to do that. And then the Wii U games are right up here. And that is the whole collection for now, anyway, until I unpack more stuff. But hopefully you guys are finally happy and have seen that I actually do have, I don't know, I guess a decent collection. It's not as big as some of the other people's, but if you're wondering where you can get this pretty awesome shelf, you can get it at Best Buy. It's $100. It holds up to 400 DVDs, but you also have the ability to change the shelf size. Alrighty, so that is pretty much the upstairs, the office area. I'm going to go downstairs and show you guys where the PS3 is and the other TV, but I have to be a little bit quieter. This room, I've started to I muffle it, so to speak, so I don't bother the neighbors because I have a loud, obnoxious voice. And downstairs, I can't be as loud because the walls are much thinner. So we'll be heading down right now. Okay, so this is the main TV downstairs. I believe it's a 37-inch Samsung LCD. We have our backup Wii downstairs with Amber's stuff. And our PS3's down here so we can watch Blu-rays, mostly animes, Lois and Clark, Batman the Animated Series, and some other fun stuff. And that is my Denon surround system, which they actually don't make this model anymore. It was a special early surround sound where it actually creates virtual surround sound. So instead of having like 6 speakers, you have just 2. and it mimics having, you know, full surround sound. It was pretty expensive for back in its day, but when I worked at Sears, I got it on clearance, and I've had this thing for about 7 years now. Works great, and you know, it's awesome. And over here, we have some DVDs and things like that. That's the subwoofer for the system. See, I have the PS3 on. I only have 21 titles for my PSN, and as you can see, since I'm working on the Retro Mondays Afterburner 2 video, I've been playing Afterburner Climax, which is actually pretty cool. And then over here, we have all Amber's Wii games that she, you know, likes to play, or she might do for her channel, or whatever she wants to do. You can see her collection of Just Dance games. And Sega Superstars Tennis, which I thought we didn't have. And this little number over here is actually a third-party Genesis that came out a little while ago by At Games. And for the most part, it does work with all our Genesis games, which is pretty cool. So yeah, since my Genesis broke a long time ago, this is a good alternative for now. And it was only like 30 bucks, so it wasn't that big a deal. This is all of our, I guess you would say, childhood memories. He-Man, G.I. Joe, She-Ra. We have Satam and all kinds of fun stuff. The Legend of Zelda cartoon show, which, yes, I am doing a Cartoon All-Stars on. I'm just not fully settled yet. So we're still unpacking things and stuff like that. There's some Marvel love for you. See, X-Men. And, of course, got to have Chuck, the whole series, because Chuck was awesome. It was Chucktastic. Amber's little plush. And this, where is she? Where are you? There you are. This is Zelda, who's actually goes by Tink. We wanted to call her Zelda, but she wouldn't she wouldn't have it. Would you, Tink? No. She's a Russian blue cat, and she's very affectionate, very nice. And she is an adorable companion and really makes this place come to life. But we'll show you more of the house later. And then over here, yeah, there's Amber's Kirby's plush. Over here is the Batman collection. You can see, yeah. I don't even need to say anything. It's all there. Even the Super Friends. Because it was corny. And yes, while I was pretty hard on Batman Brave and the Bold, being the insane Batman fan that I am, I have all of Batman Brave and the Bold, and I have all of the 2004 series, The Batman. Because I'm crazy like that. Crazy like a fox. And then over here is more of our movies. You can always tell how a couple is by the movies that they have out for display. And we have some pretty interesting ones, varying tastes, things like that. We also have the very rare TV series, Remington Steele, starring Pierce Brosnan, and this was before he was James Bond, so it's actually pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much our entertainment center, I guess you could say. And Tink. Hi, Tink. What you doing? Can you say hi? And well, gamers, that's it. That's the tour of my office / den area downstairs. Once the house is completed, which probably won't be until after PAX, we'll actually show you a tour of the house. And Amber will be hanging out and doing some vlogs with us. Most of the vlogs are going to be happening on Amber's channel, which is now K-Wife Reviews Life and Games. But there won't be vlogs like all the time, but she will do some stuff. I mean, she has said it would be easier to talk about games and record gameplay footage, or when she goes to the movies, because she loves going to the movies. That's one of her favorite things. She loves that. And who knows what else? Maybe just random vids of Tink, or I don't know. So who knows? Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I got to get back to work and do some stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the Castlevania demo video, and I have more vids coming this week. And I'll see you later. God bless. Happy gaming. Thanks so much for coming in my office. Bye, gamers.